All right, so finally, covering the overall test comparison between the 3.0 and the 4.0 for SkyPad, and who which is for and which one to actually buy. Not just gonna cut to the chase. Obviously, the newer one is technically better, but better for speed and only better for speed. Control on the 3.0 is substantially higher, and I have gone through too many mouse skates. I've been using the Obsidian Purples, the Obsidian Pros, and the Obsidian Donut. Uh, on the 4.0, the Obsidian Purples are by far the best skates, and the standard Obsidian Pros, black, yellow, whatever fucking color you buy, those are going to be the better option on the 3.0. For attack shooters, the 4.0 is not even a question on using. Don't. Uh, I am. I'm still using it in Valorant, just trying to get better with it. Your micro flicks are just not as controlled as they are on the 3.0. I've also gone back to my O2 that's on the wall right now, but every now and again, just for comparison's sake in use case. For games like Apex and Overwatch, it's literally the best mousepad I've ever used for it. You can use a Hein or a Saturn or whatever, but the tracking is just non-comparable on the 4.0. Uh, quick speed test just to show how much faster. I'm gonna start on the 3.0 and slide it over the 4, and you'll notice that it gets faster. So I don't have the measurements for the UG force and all that shit for which one's faster. I do remember when SkyPad came out with the numerics. The 4.0 was slightly faster on the dynamic friction. Uh, for static again, 3.0 is just better, and for dynamic it's also better for just control only. If you want speed, the 3.0 is still good, but uh, the 4.0 is just noticeably faster by like a long shot. Uh, Spin test, none up. This is 29.5 grams with skates and all that shit on it. 35 cheetah. Probably 36, 37 with this on it. And I don't have any other mice on my desk right now to spin. So don't really have any other spin tests. Both of them have the purples on it right now. So you can. Whoops, that wasn't even a spin. It's just way smoother. Uh, my preference, however, I don't actually have one. Obviously, I've just been strictly using the 4.0 because I've been on 3.0 for what 2 years now almost. Uh, so still in testing on use cases, but I really just don't feel like this pad's good for tac shooters. But for literally every other kind of shooting game, it's by far like way better. Even in COD, Warzone, multiplayer, whichever you play, this is going to feel a lot more comfortable than 3.0 is when it comes to speed and tracking. Apex, it's noticeably better. But again, it all comes down to, do you want more control or do you want more speed? And are you able to control that? Also, using a sleeve, I fucking sleeves, don't really need to, but on the 4.0, but I do still recommend it, especially if you're track or if you're doing tack shooters or anything like that. You're gonna want something to help you press down into the pad. Your skin's not gonna do it well enough. I do the pinky shit and it doesn't really help that much, and tilting for the full stop to throw the sensor LOD off isn't really that good on glass because there's still some reflection and shit that you can't really control. So, TLDR, 4 is faster than the 3, but not by a marginal difference, but enough to notice. But also, it took me like 3 weeks of just testing back and forth between different games and different skates to figure that out. So it's immediately not noticeable how much faster this pad is, but it really is just that much faster. Uh, so TLDR, buy the 4.0 if you play tracking games. If you don't have interest in tracking games and you play tac shooters, I don't really recommend a glass pad at all from any brand whatsoever. But if you are, get a 3.0 or not to shoot other brands around, but Pulsar. Theirs is kind of slower. SKYPAD is probably the best one for control, I guess. And again, you don't want to use Obsidian Pros. You don't want to use the Jades, or I can't remember what the green ones are called, or gray ones are called, because I didn't buy them because I was trying to find a middle ground, which the purples are directly in between the Pros and the donuts. So which is probably why they're better on the 4.0 because they lack that extra bit of control. Uh, but yeah, purple obsidians on the 4.0, and you're pretty much golden for every single tracking game. And that's it.